Who doesn't love gyoza? They're good at any time, anywhere, but especially in bento. My name is Willow, and this is You Need a Bento. Let's make lunch. So to start our gyoza, into a mixing bowl, we're going to put about 525 grams of meat. Here I've used a mix of beef and pork. You can use whatever meat works for you. 90 grams of mushrooms, wilted. 80 grams of cabbage, also wilted, just in a warm pan so we don't get too much moisture inside of our dumplings. I use anywhere up to 65 grams of green onions. You can use more or less depending on what you like. They do wilt down in the dumplings though, so be mindful of that. A tablespoon of chopped ginger, 2 teaspoons of garlic, 2 teaspoons of sake, a tablespoon of soy sauce, and just a touch of salt. Remember that gyoza wrappers are technically a bread, and bread is pretty flavorless by itself. And what we're going to do, just mix in our ingredients. It's okay for the meat to take on kind of a pasty texture. Again, it's going to be inside of wrappers, and a pastier texture stays within the wrapper a whole lot better. And make sure that all your ingredients, your cabbage and your mushrooms, are finely diced, and that way when they go into the gyoza, you have more of a consistent texture. For your dumplings, don't let them dry out. They get brittle and cracked. You keep them in a damp paper towel just off to the side. I've got a bowl of water. This is just for moistening the edges so they stick together. Our meat mixture and a plate to receive them. They do like to stick together. And these are just the same ones you get at any grocery store. I find ours kind of anywhere. So you're going to start with it in your hand like this. Wet your finger, go around the edges. This is going to form the glue that holds your dumplings together. You want to use about half a tablespoon. If you find your dumpling wrappers are a little bit bigger than mine, then you can add more. Make sure everything is nice and tucked in. Fold it in half so you have a grip, and then you pleat. So you take this, fold it over your finger, squish it. That keeps it stuck. And do the same. Now my recipe's a little bit big because I tend to make a lot all at once. You can make a whole big batch and then sit down, watch TV, and fold dumplings. You might think it's silly, but when you have a whole bunch in the freezer and you have a day you don't feel like cooking, but you still have to eat, there you go. It's a good way to take care of yourself on your good days. And make sure you press good and strong. There's nothing worse than having a dumpling explode in the pan. You'll notice the pleats are on one side, not the other. They're supposed to be like that, but there are a bunch of different ways you can pleat your dumplings, whatever makes you happy. To finish these off, we're going to bring the oil to a good hot temperature. You see how it flows a bit like water there? I've gotten a little bit warmer than I might have liked, but medium heat. You're just going to put these in so they can fry on the bottom. You want the bottom kind of crispy, and then we're going to steam them. Make sure at this point that you have your about half to 1 cup of stock ready, depending on how many you've made. I'm using fish stock. You can use chicken stock. I don't recommend something heavy like a beef stock. It tends to get a bit weird. But if you like that, go for it. Nice and crispy, exactly what we're after. And keep in mind they will brown a little bit more when you steam them. That one's a little less, but that's my pan too, or my burner rather. And once they're brown to your liking, throw in your stock. And cover. Turn your heat down to fairly low while they steam, and they'll be done in about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how many you got in there.
I hope you try it out and see what you think. I'd love to hear all about it. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time.